The incredible story of David, the shepherd who became king before he was a king. David was just a boy, shepherd, unknown, forgotten even by his own family. But God saw him and chose him. The boy and the sheep, while his brothers were at war, David was in the fields tending sheep. There, he learned to be brave. He fought lions and bears, and he composed psalms to God. In that quiet place, he drew near to the Lord, and that's where God found him. God's chosen one, the prophet Samuel, was sent to Jesse's house to anoint a new king. Jesse's sons passed before him, strong, handsome. But God said, "This is not the one. Man looks at the outward appearance, but I look at the heart." 1 Samuel 16-7, when David walked in, God said, "He is the one." And there, in front of his family, the shepherd boy was anointed king of Israel. The giant Goliath, 1 Samuel 17, one day, David went to bring food to his brothers on the battlefield. He saw a giant challenging the entire army of Israel, Goliath. While everyone was afraid, David said, "Who is this Philistine to defy the armies of the living God? No armor, no sword, just faith and a sling." He ran toward the giant and said, "Today the Lord will deliver you into my hands," and with one stone, David struck down Goliath. The shepherd boy defeated the unbeatable warrior because he trusted in God. Jealousy and persecution, 1 Samuel 18-24. David became a hero, but King Saul grew jealous. He tried to kill him many times. David fled, hid in caves. He had chances to kill Saul, but didn't, he said. "I will not touch the Lord's anointed." Even while being hunted, David kept a pure heart. The king of Israel, after Saul's death, David was finally crowned king. And he ruled with justice and wisdom. He unified Israel, brought the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem, made worship in the presence of God the center of his reign. But even so, he was still human. Sin and repentance in a moment of weakness. David committed a serious sin. He got involved with Bathsheba, another man's wife, and sent that man to die in battle. But God confronted him through the prophet Nathan. David admitted his guilt. He prayed, "Create in me a pure heart, O God." David fell, but he truly repented, and he was restored. The legacy of a king. At the end of his life, David passed the throne to his son Solomon and left behind a legacy of faith, courage, and worship. He wasn't perfect, but he was called a man after God's own heart, because even with mistakes, David always came back to the Lord. The lesson from David's story teaches us that God doesn't choose the strongest, but those with a sincere heart, that even when we fail, there is forgiveness. We can start over, and that God turns shepherds into kings, stones into victories, mistakes into lessons. You too can live something great. Just trust, as David did.